Beijing, China's capital and its cultural nerve center, a modern metropolis with traditional roots. And now it becomes the first city in the world to host both Summer and Winter Olympics. After 14 years, the biggest sporting extravaganza returns to Beijing. Thousands of athletes from around the globe will compete in over 100 events at 3 zones. Cheered on by over 1.4 billion Chinese citizens and millions abroad. CGTN will bring you a ringside view of the historic event. 2022 Beijing Olympics, the games that matter on CGTN. See the difference.
Faster, higher, stronger, together. Faster, higher, stronger, together. 只有一个地方你能找到我 ，To the top， 机会挑战重重难度大，脚步丝毫没停下。睁大的瞳孔看着我，不断的在想到，在进化我看不到你的坏意在闹。就每日每首，机会在不被随手，那胜利的美就满足我的胃口。我们尊重对手，你到来时我优秀，守护我的尊严，再去到 gold 的 medal。一个接一个的头衔，不断的超越一往无前，速度快的就像那闪电，在空中画出完美弧线。别认为这是我的弱项，这是个前赛道的铺垫，不曾低落过。这成功之上都是触点，赛道就在我脚下，迎风起飞不回头。月落门的鱼儿不只像在湖里游，孤独的勇者在黑夜之中独立走，吹响了号角，志同道合一起走。钢铁般的意志不是谁都能达得到，研究的铁骨，狂风暴雨达不到，超越着自我极限不是谁都能达得到。大雪和冰雹达不到，洒下的每一颗汗水 ，Yeah steady low， 滑落的每一滴眼泪 ，Yeah steady low，Oh steady low，Yeah steady low，Together for a shared future，steady low。鼓着你的志向不息，代表你也代表我，爱需要传承下去的就是刻逐渐被打破。灵动将赤裸，我会成为冰雪上面的舞者，是失去过才会靠我双手重新去拾得，种种努力都值得，点燃火种那一刻，过往的人间都值得，眼前变更清澈，角色奋斗之后望着傲然心态，傲然挺立的姿态，他们格外青睐。我享受着自由，往前走得成熟，落地的瞬间你只看到了我的辉煌成就，体会不了遭受的沉重，那肩上扛起的沉重，坚持的理由是我的心中承载着冰雪之梦，雪花是你我之间桥梁不分哪一国，语言也不能阻断那燃烧的星星之火。Free for myself, do for yourself, keep a hand up。要记住 ，face 是你最坚硬的 backup。钢铁般的意志不是谁都能达得到，研究的铁骨，狂风暴雨达不到，超越着自我极限不是谁都能达得到。大雪和冰雹达不到，洒下的每一颗汗水 ，Yeah steady low， 滑落的每一滴眼泪 ，Yeah steady low，Oh steady low，Yeah steady low，Together for a shared future，steady low。
Water combined is a two-part sport. It consists of ski jumping and cross country.
Bravo.
First, the athletes can
Omar Khan, CGTN, Zhangjiakou, Beijing Province.
This is one of the most complex and symbolic venue of the 2022 Winter Olympics, and for ski jumpers around the world.
You can make it.
钢铁般的意志不是谁都能达得到，研究的铁骨，狂风暴雨达不到，超越着自我极限不是谁都能达得到。大雪和冰雹达不到，洒下的每一颗汗水 ，Yeah steady low， 滑落的每一滴眼泪 ，Yeah steady low，Oh steady low，Yeah steady low，Together for a shared future，steady low。
Hello and welcome aboard the Winter Games Express. We are actually now live streaming on the world's first high-speed bullet train that incorporates a 5G studio. So speaking more of this train, it actually carries athletes, media, volunteers, and other related staff traveling between Beijing and Zhangjiakou, the two competition zones of the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympic Games. So I am your host today, Xiaoxian.
And I'm Zhu Dani with CGTN. So thanks to the support of China Academy of Railway Science Corporation and China Railway Jisun Technology Company, we broadcast you live first time in 5G enabled studios actually located here in the high-speed train. So for the past 15 days, along with the 2022 Winter Beijing Olympic Games, we've already showed you some latest news every single day on the same time, and also talked to some professionals and fans already. But today, for the next 45 minutes live streaming, feel free to leave us comments on all our social media platforms on Weibo, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Yang Shipin, and TikTok, and Chinese version of the Chinese version, English version of Chinese Douyin.
Right. So actually we're going to talk about curling today, but it's one of the most popular sports at the Winter Olympics, and even outside the Olympic field, outside the ice rink, it's also trending online thanks to all those viral videos really making those DIY curlings at home. So that's why I'm more than happy to be joined by our guest on board today, Li Yino. He's the president of the Tsinghua University Student Curling Association.
Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Li Yino, sophomore in Tsinghua University and the president of Tsinghua Student Curling Association, and also a member of Tsinghua curling team. Yeah.
How are you feeling right now? Your first time, traveling on this bullet train.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. It's so fast, but also so stable. It's very good.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, how about Danny? You've also first time been here in the studio, moving studio on the bullet train, right?
Yeah, to be honest, I've been watching all of your guys' lives for the past 15 days. I always quite envy and see with such stable signal every day, with the very beautiful scenery outside, still some snow outside we can see. So I think this is a nice chance to do this live here.
Yeah, it just snowed a few days ago, and right now the scene along the road is just so amazing. Right. So before we really get to our main topic, we actually want to have a quick review of what happened, especially in the curling events so far at the Winter Olympics. So joining us online is my colleague Li Zhao. She's been inside the Olympic Village and has been reporting on all the events and following all the events closely. Hi, Li Zhao.
Hi, absolutely. I've been following curling for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Actually, already, I think 10 plus days already. How time flies.
Right.
And still, I'm here at the Olympic bubble and ready to share you some exciting news about curling, actually. So for curling, we've already done one that is called mixed doubles. Essentially, that's a guy competing alongside with a lady. And then it's like a country have a couple, and then they fight against each other. The pairs fight with each pairs. And then for gold, we have Italy, and then silver goes to Norway, and then bronze is Sweden. And for men's, it's actually just undergoing right now. We have Sweden remains top choice for men's curling standing, and also Team GB, Great Britain, it just finished second to Sweden at the most recent World Champions. So definitely some exciting things to be look out for. And also Canada, ROC, Russia Olympic Committee, as well as Switzerland. And for women's, we know that riding champion is still Switzerland. It has really perfect number one standing of 5-0 through the 6 seasons of play. And Japan is also another country to look out for, and also Team GB, Sweden, and also Team USA. So these are some countries that we'll be looking out for during the whole process of curling. We know that, as I said, mixed doubles have already finished. For men's and women's are still underway. So who knows who's going to get that gold medal. As for Team China, the women's curling team actually keeps their hope for entering the semi-finals. Yesterday, it beats out the Britons, and it retook 5-7 lead before the second half. As for men, unfortunately, they already said goodbye to the semi-finals, as they have only 4 wins and 5 losses already. So that's it. Essentially, a look at how curling events is going on here at the Olympics.
Thanks, Lisa. As you mentioned about the Chinese women curling team, have you ever interviewed any of the curling athletes inside the studio?
The Olympic event is still ongoing right now, so I don't want to bother them at this point. But I did go to the Olympic. I did go to the site and see them play for a few times already. You know, curling is such a interesting event. It's not very thrilling or exciting like, you know, figure skating or short track speed skating. It is a very, I guess, gentle and subtle game, which requires a lot of thinking. Right? You have that rock. We have an expert on train. I don't want to say too much about it, but he knows how it's going. Right? You have this giant stone. Like, you got to calculate the direction of how it's going to move, and you got to think like which of the stone that you're going to hit in the house, which is the center circle of the designated area, and you want your stone to be as close as to the center. So that's how it runs essentially. Now, one thing I really want to remind you this time, because all the curling events are happening at the National Aquatic Center, which I don't know you guys remember, in 2008, that was actually where all the swimming events took place. And they turned the Olympic-sized swimming pool into, you know, some of the amazing technologies into lenses of ice. If you look at that, it's amazing, you know, turning that Olympic-sized swimming pool into lenses of ice.
Yeah, speaking out that, I really quite envy you in the studio, like you're there in person. So how do you feel in general, like seeing all of these games there in the ice cube?
As I said, I think curling, yeah, as you said, it's called water cube before, and right now it's turning into ice cube because of the Winter Olympics that's going on here. And as I said, curling events is not as, I guess, thrilling and exciting as other kind of ice hockey events, or let's say short track speed skating. Like, it just happens so fast and everything is going on at such a, you know, short amount of time. But karting is something that requires a lot of time and thinking, and I think it's all quiet throughout the whole process, and the only sound you can hear is really the curlers shouting at each other. Like, what are they saying? Actually, we have an expert on the train. What do you guys usually shout or yell to each other whenever there's a curling event going on? Hello, can you hear me? The Tsinghua captain of curling.
Yes. Thanks for sharing all of that with us. So how do you feel like today? Like, what's your plan for today?
Right, so today we're gonna have something very exciting going on. That's the women's final for the figure skating. A lot of exciting girls that I've been keep an eye on. That would include Anna Sherbakova as well as Dasha Chusova, and also very excited, very talented Kamala Valieva. Those are some of the, you know, gold and bronze and silver favorites, all from the ROC, Russia Olympic Committee. So definitely I'll be looking out for that.
Okay, thank you so much, Li Zhao, for sharing, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Work hard, but also get like enough rest. And we're also going to wait for your cover of the story. So thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. Great to see you guys there.
Bye there. Yeah, so I've just talked to our like reporter there inside the stadium about how, like, her feelings about the Winter Olympic Games. So have you ever watched, like, how many games you watched of this Winter Olympic Games?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of games, and I think it's awesome. There are so many awesome games, and you know, it's Winter Olympics, so everyone is trying their best to play well. But I think more importantly, I saw they all show their respect to their opponents and to curling itself. There are so many gentleman behaviors during the game, although everyone wants to win, but they still have that gentleman behaviors. I think that's curling. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually watched one match yesterday. It was between China and the Great Britain as women's curling. It's so amazing that they scored 3 at the ninth end, and it was such an amazing context.
Yeah, everything can happen on an ice street in the curling competition.
Right. So it's very interesting to see those delicate strategy making during the whole process, and they have to be super flexible also to, just adjust their strategy and their move just because the situation on the ice sheet is changing all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so amazing to see women's Team China is getting more steady and getting more and more good performances so far. So have you got any particular athletes, curling athlete that you've like really impressed you a lot?
I think the Team China's the captain of Team China's Ma Xiuyue, he gives me a lot of he impressed me a lot. Yeah, because I've met him the first time in the ice cube last year during a competition, and I think he's good, he's perfect, and also he performs well in the whole Winter Olympics and helped Team China to win a lot of competitions. Yeah.
So he's like a role model to you.
Yeah, quite like.
So what do you say about the result? Do you have like your own prediction of what's the who's gonna win the medal home at the curling events at this year's Winter Olympics?
I think men's the Sweden team, Edding's team is quite hopeful. Yeah.
Is Sweden like usually a very strong team?
Yeah, Team Sweden. It's a very strong team. Yeah, and Edding he's a very great player, and he won many gold medals in various world-class competitions. Yeah, so I wish he can get the Olympic gold medal. Yeah.
Cool.
But it's also worth mentioning that this is still curling is still very young game, because since it's first introduced in 1998 in the Winter Olympic Games, it's only like 20 years, over 20 years. So how do you yourself start to play this?
Yeah, I first watched curling competitions on TV, and I think it's very interesting, and I really want to try it. But I first stepped on the ice sheet after I entered university, and I found Tsinghua has a curling team and has a curling association, so I joined them immediately. Yeah.
So what's in the what thing in the curling sport that really attract you a lot?
I think curling is a combination of sports and something like chess. You have to use good strategies, and you also have to manage your skills to achieve what you want. So I think that's the most attractive points.
Yeah, curling is also nicknamed as chess on
Chess on
ice.
ice, yeah.
Right. So actually recently curling has also become a hit online thanks to a lot of netizens in China that they actually place the sport at home with every object they could use at home. So CGTN also launched a campaign called the Winter Games Challenges. So it has gained tens of millions of views online, and also they have thousands of participants all around the world. So let's watch a video of how people could be so creative about curling at home.
家庭冰雪大赛冰壶挑战现在开始。
So that's really a fun video to watch. Have you watched any, this kind of, challenge, curling challenge online?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of them. I think I'm glad to see them because it means that curling is more and more popular. More and more people know this sport and they want to try it. They think it's interesting. So I'm glad to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always very nice to see how talented all of those users and audiences online, they can create such nice and interesting content. So actually that video was added by CGTN because we collect all of these videos around the world from tons of thousands different users and audiences.
Exactly.
And then we see some like really ridiculous, like doesn't make any sense part in it, but still like it's really fun.
Yeah, we see some people use like a kiss on the plastic basin as the curling stone, and even like a hot pot soup base as a curling stone. And also they all use the like mop or a broom at home, like use as a curling broom to just try to imitate those kind of acts in the curling games. And we also see some Olympian champion inside the video.
Yeah, we were lucky
like in
to
the
get
beginning.
him.
Like Tian Liang, the swimming, it's a diving Olympic champion from China. And also we see Jiao Liuyang is also an Olympic champion from China. And it's good to see those former Olympians, especially from those Summer Olympics, really get involved and get interested in winter sport and try to promote them.
Yeah, so speaking about curling, as Li Zhao, like my colleague just mentioned that this game is like really different from the other games because like the ski or short speed competition, then it's very fierce. But this one is kind of like you just see them there doing something somehow for some reason that you don't know what exactly they're doing. So how about you just tell us some basic rules and stuff.
Right, we have a
Here
mini
is my
table curling game right now, Koyang.
Yeah.
Here we can see it. It's our mini ice sheet, and here we can see those circles. We call it the house. And if you want to score in an end, you must have at least one stones in the house if you want to get the score. And this is the T line, and this is the center line, and this one is the hog line. And the valid area is between the hog line and the bike line. There's a bike line. There should be a bike line there, and this area is valid, and you still must get into this area. If you stop there, you should remove it.
I'll remove it.
Yeah.
So how long, like in the real ice sheet?
Yeah, the real ice sheet is about 45 meters.
45 meters.
And
it's really a long sheet.
Yeah, and this is the stones I've just
we got 4 stones for a team now, but in the real curling competition we have 8 stones for each team, and 4 people delivering 8 stones.
4 people delivering 8 stones.
Yeah.
So how many ends for competition?
And usually we have 10 ends for men's and women's event, and 8 ends for mixed double event.
So if I do a calculation here, you have 8 stones for each team, for each end to play this. And then, so that's like 80 per team to deliver a stone in one competition.
Maybe that's why a game could last as long as 3 hours.
3 hours. So this is the stone. So normally, because this is very small, this is a tool. And then, so normally how heavy it would be?
It's like 20 kilograms.
20 kilograms for one stone. Imagine, can you lift up a 20 kilogram?
No way, I can. But I can slide.
Okay, so you've already told us some basic rules about it. How about me and Xiaoxian? We just compete with each other and see like how we can score. So you told us we have to beyond this.
So before we start, how do we decide who's gonna go first to slide the stone?
Usually in the world-class competitions, we use last stone draw. You draw 2 stones with different rotations, and you measure the distance between your stone and the tee, and the team who gets the better score, you can decide if you want the hammer or not. But we can use just paper, scissors, stones. It's an easier way. We always use
go with that.
Sorry, just one more question. So if you get the hammer, that's better, that you make more advantage of that, right?
In the first end.
In the first end?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I see.
Okay.
So,
I just almost voluntarily to be the one to start.
So let's go paper, scissors, stone. Paper, scissors, stone. Okay, I win. So I'll be the hammer.
She will be the hammer. Okay. So if I win, can I choose not to be the hammer? Okay, sorry. Oops,
Okay,
I'm
you're
out of
Too
game.
heavy.
But if I do that, will I get rid of the game, or it's just no score?
No score is that you continue
Okay.
and yeah.
Yeah, continue. I'll make my first try and I'll try to be as close to the center.
We will see.
It's barely okay. This can be a
Stay
just
there.
say
Yeah, just stay there.
you-
Okay.
It's my
Okay.
strategy.
It's like a barrier for me now.
Oops.
Oops. It seems that I should.
Seems it's a little hard to really slide this on a high-speed train, bullet train.
A little bit hard for us. How about just we play?
How about okay?
we
they just-
stop playing?
They just won't stop. I'll try.
Yeah, even though it's very stable here, but still like the road is.
Wow,
Yay!
that's
Wow,
nice.
Yes,
that's very
near the
close.
center.
That's perfect.
It's a
So the
perfect
center,
slide.
what do you call the center? The bottom,
T.
right? The
Oh,
T.
it's
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
that's the T.
T.
Okay. Oh, I'm in.
Not bad.
Finally. You
Yeah.
have to go.
Whoa.
Wow.
I got some
you're
luck
good.
here.
You're really talented in playing this game. So this is my last one.
Okay. And I think.
Oh, you get yourself out of the
So
T.
yeah. So now we are all out of stones right now. So that means our first end is completed.
Yeah.
So can you tell us the result?
Yeah.
Right now?
It
apparently.
seems that Redstone got 1 point because a stone can only get a point if you are nearer than all of your opponent's stones. So
Oh, okay.
I think this yellow stone is nearer than the red one. So only this one can get 1 point.
Oh, so like all in all, even though like there are 4 stones inside this house,
Actually, 5 of it is in this house.
5 in the
Yeah.
house, but she only get 1 point.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
it's a very complicated
yeah, this
game.
yellow stone is
Nearer than the
Yeah.
other. Okay, I hope you have already understand the basic principle and idea about this. So can you tell us a little bit more about like how do you just do it like physically?
physical. Yeah. In the real curling, we will slide to deliver the stone rather than just throw it. So it's more stable and we can control our weight and the line better. Yeah.
So do you think curling is gaining more and more popularity in China because you are in this kind
Yeah.
of curling association? You bet
Sure,
you
yeah.
have some observations.
Yeah, our members nearly doubled in the Olympic year. So it's truly getting more and more popular.
Okay.
So, besides all those memes and gifs and all those table game that we, watch and played, we actually want to get to know more about the real curling, the serious curling. So, why not we just watch a video first to give you a very brief introduction about curling's history and how it's gonna play at the Winter Olympics. Take a look. Welcome back. So I guess you have a little bit sense of what real curling is. And our guest on board, Ino, right now actually have something to show us. So, Ino, can you tell us what you have right now?
Yeah, sure. I bring my curling shoes here, and you can see the most special feature of it is on the bottom of it. You have 2 slider pieces, and also you need to use it to slide on the ice. And this one is very rough, and you will use it as a brake. So that's the special points for it. Yeah.
So this is the brake.
No, this is the brake.
Oh, that's the brake because
Yeah.
okay, I see.
Yeah, it's very rough.
Yeah, normally we see a cover there.
Yeah,
So what is it for?
Some players they like to put on a cover on it, and so they got 2 shoes like this. So which means they can actually run on the ice, or some they like it. So when they are not delivering the stone, they will not use the sliders. So they can put on the cover for it. Yeah.
So
I
we
didn't know
always-
the 2 shoes is actually different from
Yeah,
each
it's
other.
different.
So you only use 1 foot to slide,
Yeah.
on the ice.
So you always like for athletes, we imagine they only have one dominant
Yeah.
like legs. They
Yeah.
would not switch.
Yeah, they
between-
would not switch
okay,
it.
I see.
Yeah.
So do you have to buy like special shoes for this?
Usually we buy special shoes, but some people like to make their own shoes, use their own shoes, and just stick some pads on it, and you can use it as a curling shoes.
Oh, that sounds good. Otherwise, we will think that because this is like a little bit high, not high level, but it's like harder to get equipment and everything. Not like jogging or take a walk thing like sports.
Yeah.
So like it's hard to.
And these feel safe about these shoes because it doesn't have the kinds of blade like
Yeah.
short track speed skating or something like
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. What do you have?
I also got a curling broom here, and you can see it got a special pad on it, and you
So
will
what's
use
it made from? This is made from.
cotton.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is made from the cotton. You can show to our audience. Made from
Feels
the cotton.
harder than I expected actually.
So the size of it, do you have to make the certain size where you can make it big or small? Does it affect?
There's some different sizes, but most brooms are just like this, and some are maybe smaller. Yeah.
Smaller.
Yeah.
So what's the? Can you tell us what's the difference between it?
I think it's does not have many difference. It's just different sizes. Yeah.
I see.
I got a silly question that can you actually use this mop? No, use this broom as a mop at home to clean your house.
I think it's okay, but it's quite expensive.
Yeah, you would not.
How much
buy-
is this?
And a broom, the whole broom is like 1,000 yuan, and
1,000.
the pad is about 100 to 200, like that.
So the price could be ranging from like 1,000 to several thousands, I guess.
It's mainly just 1,000 to 2,000. Yeah.
1,000 to 2,000 mob to
Yeah.
clean your floor.
Yeah. So how important for you guys to sweeping the ice?
Yeah, it's quite important. An experienced sweeper, they can sweep a stone which could originally stopped here to maybe the tee. It's quite a long way, so
So how long that would be then?
maybe 5 meters, like that.
So you
it's-
just said if a stone stop here and then by mobbing this sweeping sweeping this ice, it can go another 5 meters.
Yeah, it can also control the lines. Maybe if there's a guard and your stones cannot pass it without touching it, and with your sweeping, it can just pass the guard. So that's very
Wow.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, about this game, because we know that now you have a deliver who is going to deliver the stone, and then the other two is going
Yeah.
to catch, like sweeping the
Sweeping, yeah.
floor, and then to make it not the floor, the ice,
The ice.
sheet, in order to reach the score.
Yeah.
So for me, like the one who is doing that, like sorry, sweeping is
Sweeping,
more
yeah.
physically demanding. Is
Yeah,
it?
it's very hard. It's very tiring, and your heart rate may raise 180 and sometimes even more than 200.
Wow,
that's
like
that's hard.
HIIT sports.
Yeah.
But for us still, like, it doesn't like very fierce competition. Like, so this is a silly question again. Do curlers need to also go to the gym and do all of those, like lift up the weights and stuff?
Yeah,
train.
If you are a professional curler, you must have to exercise a lot to keep fit. But if you are just amateur, you can just play any way you
for
like.
Fun.
Yeah, just for fun.
Okay. Yeah, because what I mean is, it's not like the acrobats or like other sports.
Yeah.
You have to practice like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess, except from the physical part, you also need to use loads of your brains and techniques and everything into it. Saying about this, we're getting to watch a video from my colleague Gening, and she's going to tell us more about the techniques and secrets behind curling.
Unlike the other ice rink sports, where athletes would prefer the rink to be smoother, the surface for curling is a little bumpy. Curling uses a technique called pebbling, which is more or less what it sounds like. Ice makers spray water droplets evenly across the ice surface that turn into countless little pebbles as they freeze. It's these pebbles that lace a little bit of air underneath the stone to stop it sucking itself to the ice, and therefore it can slide. But to maintain the conditions of the pebbles is another key factor.
They will wear when they start off. The pebble, if I can show you, is up like that. It's in a point, and then as the game goes on with all the brushing and what have you, it starts to come down and down and down.
If the pebbles are completely worn down and the ice has melted effectively, it literally means the game is over.
So in order to make sure that the pebble stays standing, we don't use normal tap water. We use purified water, and because it's very, very pure, it freezes very, very quickly and very, very hard. Therefore, the pebble lasts for the whole game.
What's even more surprising is that the bottom of a curling stone is not flat, it's concave. Imagine yourself with an upside-down saucer, something like this, and sit it on the table. You can see that only the outside of the saucer is touching the table. That's the same as curling stone on ice. And the narrow running surface to contact the ice is only 6.25 millimeters wide. So together with the pebbles, they allow the stone to glide more smoothly across the ice.
Wow, it's so interesting to know that the ice for curling is actually not smooth. It's got this kind of texture, so I guess so that the curling stone could, just really slide. So you've also been to the Ice Cube. That's also the Olympic venue for this year's curling event. So what are your feelings, being inside this Olympic venue?
Yeah, it's perfect, and I think everything is comfortable. The temperature is comfortable, the ice is comfortable, and it's very high quality. It's the ice maker is world-class ice makers, so it's also the first time we played curling on these world-class venues on world-class ice streets. That's perfect, and the temperature is also controlled very well, and you can even just wear a t-shirt on it. Yeah.
Speaking about comfortable temperature and comfortable ice, can you tell us a bit more about is there a temperature control in this curling competition?
Yeah, in Ice Cube they need to control 3 different temperatures. The first is the ice. You have to keep the ice in their great condition, and you also need to control the temperature maybe 1.5 meters above. It's about the athletes. You must let them feel comfortable. And the third temperature is for audience. It's like maybe 15 degrees. Like you have to make the audience feel comfortable too.
Wow.
So it's very hard.
So it's like high demanding
it's such a complicated technology for ice making at the curling games. So I was wondering, because we also saw that there are like 4 parallel ice sheets in this venue. So there are gonna be 4 matches going on at the same time?
Yeah.
So pretty much will they feel like disturbing by, from each other?
Maybe sometimes, but it's okay because you are focusing on your own competition, so it's okay, acceptable.
Yeah, speaking about that, because like she mentioned, you'd be disturbed by your competitors, because we see those little screaming, shouting, like we doesn't know what does it exactly mean, screaming thing.
Yeah, it's like a signal. Your escape he will stand in the house and watching the stones coming to him, and he can see exactly what's the line and what's the line he wants. So he needs to guide the sweepers. Maybe sometimes they will shout like hard, and maybe they will make it longer, maybe like hard, like this. It means they need to hard lines, and sometimes they may need it to curl more, and they will shout. And sometimes when he think it's enough, you don't need to sweep, and he will shout "whoa" like that.
Wait, have you ever secretly like practiced those little?
I think it doesn't need practice. You
just have that instinct.
Actually have a data that curling has the second highest number of athletes that over the 35-year-old. So do you think curling is more like rely on experience?
Yeah, sure. You know, curling, the strategies in curling is very important. I think it's as important as skills. So experience is very important, especially if you have experienced so many world-class competitions. You will get more experience and you can perform well. Yeah.
And there are not some other keywords that usually mentioned in curling are like it's kind of a gentleman's sport. Yeah. So how's that come about?
I think it's mainly about the spirit of curling. You know, it has its official expression. I can't recite it, but it's mainly about a true curler. You should not prevent your opponents from playing their best, and you would rather lose than win unfairly. So, and you know, the sport itself is an elegant sport, no body contact, no violence at all. So it may give people that impression. It's very gentle. It's a gentleman's sport. Yeah.
Do you have a specific match that really impressed you a lot, that really kind of embodied this kind of spirit of curling?
Yeah, I remember the match between Team China and Team USA, and there's a stone that the US player they displaced a stationary guard while sweeping, but actually no one noticed that, but they immediately told Team China that I displaced that stone. But this is the first point, and after that, Team China, they have the right to remove that yellow stone and put back their red stone, but they choose not to do so because they also think the moving stone can pass the guard even if he did not displace it. So I think it impressed me a lot. Yeah. If you want to win, you can just put back your red stone, but yeah, that's curling.
It's good to know that they really negotiate with each other, and that's really like a peaceful event.
Yeah, so that's why like everyone watching curling games say that it's very quiet, a long, talented game to watch. Yeah. Speaking about curling, I still have one more question. As she mentioned, like the over average age for people who are playing curling are above like 30. So like, what attracts you as such a young athlete to choose to play curling instead of like ski, like to enjoy the speed and everything?
I think curling is it doesn't matter the age. Yeah, the age doesn't matter. So it can attract maybe the middle-aged people. It can also attract teenagers and maybe some kids. I've seen some kids, they also started to learn curling. Yeah, maybe like 8 years old. So I think it's a very charming sport. You know, it's very elegant, and so it can attract everyone, I think.
So like the most charming part for you is which part? Like you can think about it, the strategy, or...
Yeah, I think it's the combination of strategy and skill. You need not only good strategies, but you need perfect skills to achieve your thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, curling is really a game of tactics, strategy, skills, and also etiquette. Those, it's very elegant, but also it's very, requires a lot of skills. So I think that's maybe the combination is the charm of the curling, and that's why it's so different from other sports. Yeah. So we also have some final competitions going on in the next few days, right?
Yeah, we still have the female and male competition, the men's and the women's on the 19th and the 20th.
Stay tuned.
The 16th, yeah, this is the 16th day of the Winter Olympic Games. 3 days to go, and before that, stay tuned with CGTN for the next 3 days, same time, same train,
place, same train.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
6 gold medals will be produced on February the 17th, starting with women's ice hockey gold medal showdown between Canada and the USA. At 1400, women's alpine combined slalom will be held at the Yancheng National Alpine Skiing Center. The final of freestyle skiing women's ski cross is scheduled to start after the small final, which will take place at 1510. In addition, speed skating women's 1,000 meters and figure skating women's single skating will be offering 2 more golds. The 6th gold of the day will be from the Nordic combined team event. Again, another action-packed day will be awaiting us.